you may have heard of SAD before in the context of the winter months, but what most people don't know is that about 10% of people who suffer from SAD experience it in the summer, and I am one of them. Now, people get SAD because they struggle with seasonal changes in light and temperature. In the winter, less sunlight and colder temps can really mess with people. They might overeat, they might oversleep, could gain or lose weight, and experience varying degrees of depression and anxiety. Now, in the summer version of SAD, which usually affects people who live closer to the equator, excessive light and higher temperatures typically promote insomnia and decreased appetite. Now, both variations can trigger intense depression, anxiety, irritability, and agitation. And I'll speak for myself, this summer has been challenging. In fact, it's been hell. Probably more challenging than any other summer I've experienced in recent times, and that's partly due to what's going on around us. I mean, think about it. The pandemic and lockdown intensified my feelings of anxiety. Furthermore, the protests against racial injustice and inequality that are sweeping across the country and world, and as it continues to dominate the news and media cycle so that change can actually happen, I find myself feeling exhausted and disenchanted about the road ahead. So, how am I doing? Well, this summer, I've struggled with getting enough sleep, between 3.5 and 5 hours each night. Maintaining my regular diet with a suppressed appetite. It's really hard to eat. I've struggled to keep my mood balanced because I've been pretty irritable, which sucks because I genuinely don't mean to be. And I know I'm not the only one. But you know what we haven't done? We haven't thrown in the towel. And now's not the time to do that either. So as summer wraps up and we head into what we know could be an equally unique and stressful fall and winter, let's work together and put some strategies in place to make the most of every moment to combat SAD. Here are 5 of the most useful strategies I've picked up along my journey to keep as healthy and happy as possible. 1, make morning exercise a priority. Getting your blood pumping and putting your sweat equity in the first thing will help you start every day off on the right foot. It's kind of like having morning coffee, right? Start small with just 2 to 3 days of light exercise and grow from there. Number 2, get accountable for your diet. It's essential to take stock of what kinds of things we're putting into our bodies when we're suffering from mental health problems, because that's when we tend to neglect that part of our life the most. After spending years overcoming my addiction to binge eating before bed to help myself sleep, I struggled this summer. And that's okay because I forgave myself. And the craziest thing happened. Like the next night, instead of berating myself in the kitchen as I opened up the fridge, I reminded myself of how I wanted to feel the next day and reassured myself that I'm okay. And guess what? I didn't even binge. Start by keeping a diary of what you eat and drink over 1 week. And if you need some extra help, you can review this list with a trusted, non-judgmental friend to help you talk through this. Number 3, find ways to make your life easier. Staying on top of the day-to-day gets hard when you're running on next to no sleep and when you're dealing with SAD. When we're already stressed and having a hard time, one of the best things we can do is look for easy wins by finding ways to remove the stress of life. At times, I will switch to paper plates and plastic utensils because I know the dishes will pile up. I remember one time when I was in one of my worst states and making very little money, I was able to rearrange my entire budget by cutting down on dining out, so that way I could afford to pay a housekeeper $75 a month to come and help me to clean up and do my laundry. Number 4, set and maintain boundaries. This summer, I realized that I have a hard time turning off and stepping away from work, so I deliberately tried to be online less to make sure I'm spending time on myself and taking care of my personal needs. So taking a step back allowed me to focus on me and what's going on around me. So for you, consider your own boundaries and where you feel you can carve out a little bit more time for yourself. If you're like me, taking a break from social media could be beneficial because it can stop you from falling into the old trap of comparing yourself to others and feeling dissatisfied. Also, while we love our family and friends, I find they can be habitual line steppers. Repeatedly answering questions about your mental health or offering well-intentioned yet unsolicited advice can cause anxiety levels to rise. So don't be afraid to let people know what you need from them, and when needed, put people in their rightful place. Now, get it on paper to make it more real and gently remind yourself of those boundaries so that you can defend them every single day until it becomes a habit. And number 5, be proactive and work on your mental wellness. Take steps to understand it and safeguard low moments. This summer was hard. We know that this fall and winter could be as well. but it'll be much easier to manage if you have a general idea of how to respond to low moments. Calling a friend, seeing a therapist, getting medication if you need it, journaling, yoga, meditation, or maybe it's writing some affirmations and prayers so you can remind yourself of your worth. Anything that brings you peace and comfort, put it on that list and do it. And remember, you're worth a lot and you're going to be okay. So here are my final thoughts on this. Whether you experience SAD in the summer, winter, or not at all, practice kindness. That should start with ourselves. And being kind to ourselves is something that we should do in every season. So be blessed and stay encouraged. You got this.